Good morning and welcome to the Happy Huddle, my friends. This is where we get together once a week to learn a tool of positive psychology, also known as the tools to happiness. And we practice them, which is super important, all within half an hour. So we can do it super quickly, get in, get out, and have a happier day. So let's get started with this lesson today. First of all, get a piece of paper because, as I said, we do practice in this session because I can tell you what to do. I can tell you to write a letter. I can tell you to practice this, and you're not going to do it. So right now, at this time, this is your special time to go ahead and do it. Get a pen and make sure your phone is on silent because, friends, we are going to go through this super quickly, and you do not want to be disturbed. This session is on mindset and mind chatter. Mind chatter is that stuff in your head, that voice that's always telling you, usually negative stuff, but it's that voice that's the dialoguing your whole entire life. And usually it's thinking about the past or it's thinking about the future. And it's usually worrying about the past or worrying about the future. So I'm going to teach you some tools around mindset that are going to help you tame that mind chatter and get it to be more positive than negative. Let me tell you something. The average person thinks between 50 and 70,000 thoughts per day. Can you believe that? That is, I don't even know who counted that. I didn't count it, but that is a lot of thoughts. Now imagine if most of those are negative. Yeah, you become your thoughts. Your thoughts become what you do and how you behave. So it really is important to manage those thoughts and make them more positive. So the other thing I want you to know is that you're not your thoughts. Even though you have them, even though you have lots of these thoughts, even if they're negative, you're not those thoughts. You are the consciousness from which your thoughts arise. So think of your consciousness as this ocean, and the thoughts are the waves. And so we're going to try to tame the ocean so we can control the waves. Now, the thing to know is that beliefs are simply thoughts that we have over and over again. Now, what's really interesting is that the human capacity to think is susceptible to error. It's really flawed. And a lot of it is based on our ancestry. But here are some things to watch out for. Cognitive bias and old stories. So old stories that you have from childhood, or old stories that your parents have given you, or old stories that your parents' parents have given you, or just old stories that you have believed that really just may not be true anymore. So it really is important to check and see, is that just an old story? Your ego is going to get in the way because your ego is going to always want you to be right and look good. And you know what? Mindset is going to challenge that. And we can't always look perfect. We can't always look good, but we can change the way we think about not looking perfect and not looking good, because really nobody's perfect and nobody looks good all the time. Your limited beliefs. So do you think that are your beliefs limited and you think that you can't possibly be that beautiful or that rich or that successful? Those are limited beliefs. And I come from a place where anything is possible and everybody can win. So we can change those. Influence. Who are you being influenced by? Is it your partner, your parents? Is it media? Are you watching crappy TV shows and reading gossipy magazines? That all influences the way that you think and what you put in, garbage in, garbage out. So you really want to be careful of what you're reading and you're watching. Certainly misinformation. Where are you getting your news and your stories and your beliefs from and your thoughts and false assumptions? We can easily have false assumptions about other people and saying, they don't like us, or they're not good enough, or they think that we're not good enough. Those might be false assumptions. And so those are just a few of the patterns of unhealthy thought that interfere with our judgment and that cause our mind chatter to be more negative. So my big aha for this one, don't believe everything you think. This is so cool. One of the most significant findings in psychology in the last 20 years is that we can choose the way we think. And I know that seems almost impossible because that mind chatter is so strong. but the most important thing to know is that it takes practice. So one thing I always say, the more we know, the better we do. So we got to learn a new way, and then it takes practice. So let's learn a new way. First is to practice optimism. So the pessimist sees difficulty in every opportunity, and the optimist sees opportunity in every difficulty. So that one might take a little bit to sink in, but even in hard times, an optimist is going to look at the situation and say, gosh, what should I learn here? What's happening here that I should know? What could be if I lost my job, what's the opportunity here? I don't know. I might get to spend more time with my kids, or I might get an even better job with better money. So there is a way of taming that mind. So if you haven't checked out my videos online, I do 1-minute videos to teach you new ways of thinking. And here's an example of one about optimism at happierbytheminute.com. Did you know optimism can be learned? Hi, I'm Stacey Sellar, and welcome back to Happier by the Minute, where we deliver the research and the rigor, the tips and the tools of happiness 1 minute at a time. Because when we know better, we do better. Do you consider yourself an optimist or a pessimist? I highly recommend listening up, because you are going to want to be identified as an optimist when you hear the following. There is a great deal of research documenting that optimists are happier and more successful academically, athletically, professionally, and socially. Optimists do better and are healthier. Optimistic thinking is a huge advantage in this rapidly changing world. Here is the very cool part. Optimism is a learned skill that can be taught and practiced. According to Marty Seligman, the founder of positive psychology, optimists explain life's events differently than pessimists do. Pessimists take the negative things that happen to them personally, while optimists find them unlikely to happen again. For example, a pessimist trips on a sidewalk and thinks, I'm so clumsy, I'm always tripping everywhere, and now I look so stupid. She sees the cause of her fall as a personality trait. On the other hand, the optimist thinks, dang, someone ought to fix that sidewalk. She's thinking that a flaw is in the sidewalk, not her own inherent clumsiness. That's what caused her to trip. Be aware of your mind chatter. How do you respond when something negative happens? Are you critical of yourself or of the situation? Do you beat yourself up, or do you say, oops, could have happened to anybody? Please comment below and let us know if you think you are an optimist or a pessimist. And if you catch yourself with a pessimistic thought, are you able to turn it around? It's okay if it doesn't come naturally. It takes practice. It doesn't come naturally for any of us. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Those are fun little videos, again, that you can learn something new. So now you know that you can learn optimism. I am now going to tell you how to do it. So get out that piece of paper, and you're going to write down these questions. And it would be a really great idea to hang on to these questions. Put them in your handbag, put them in your wallet, put them on your mirror in your bathroom, put it on your dashboard, put it on your desk. And when you start having a pessimistic thought, you're going to ask these questions. Is it true? Does this thought serve me well? What is true? What is the opportunity in this situation? Is it possible to turn this situation around? And what can I do about this right now? And of course, if you've subscribed to these huddles, then this will be emailed to you after it airs live. So now we are going to actually practice this. So on your piece of paper, I want you to work on an actual negative thought that you're having right now. Like, I have no money. Like, if that is some mind chatter that keeps going around your head all the time, like, I have no money, I'm so poor. Ugh, I don't even like saying those words because the universe will hear me, but we're going to work on that. So in some negative thought about your relationship or work, let's just start with, is it true? Is it true that you have no money at all, that you'll never fall in love, that you have the worst job in the entire world? Probably not. And does this thought serve me well? I don't know, this thought might be keeping you from moving forward, and that might feel comfortable to you. But if you do want to move forward and you do want to stop being a victim and you do want to have a better life, I'm pretty sure that negative thought is not serving you well. So what is true? What is true? Well, it's true that I am motivated by this situation to do something different. What is true? It's true that I have learned this from being at this job or being in this relationship. This has encouraged me to do something else or be something else or learn something else. What is the opportunity in this situation? There's got to be some opportunity. Is it to move, to find a better place, to learn a new skill? There's some opportunity in this situation that you feel is really negative. And if it's, I have no money, the opportunity is that I'm going to show myself that I can earn money doing whatever it is that I need to do. It might mean that I have to go wash dishes, or I need to serve food, and I need to deliver newspapers. I don't think people deliver newspapers anymore, but you know what I mean? It can be anything. There are jobs all over the place, and there are opportunities everywhere you turn. It may not be what you thought it would look like, but you never know what things are going to turn out to be. You never know if taking a job as a cashier somewhere is going to introduce you to somebody who's going to be the love of your life, or who's going to help you start that company that you want to start, whatever it is. So is it possible to turn this situation around? I'm going to bet probably yes. So in any circumstance. And so it's, again, it seems like an obvious question, but really you need the awareness to know, yes, I can turn this around. So quit thinking that negative thought. And what can I do about this right now? What can you do about it right now? There's got to be something that you can do. So I'm going to give you a few minutes while you listen to a really nice song. Oh, no, I'm not. I'm going to move on to the next thing, because I think we did get through that pretty well. Again, if you need time to work on it later, that's okay too. And if you subscribe, this will be mailed to you. So you can try it on all kinds of different negative thoughts that you're having, because you probably have more than one. So let's get right into mindset. Let's work on your mindset and how you get control of what your mindset is. So there's a woman named Carol Dweck, and she's out of Stanford, and she wrote a book called Mindset. Someone recommended it to me when I first had children as a parenting book. Even though it isn't a parenting book, it was one of the best books I've ever read to change my own way I think, and to change the way that I help encourage my children to grow and have a really a growth mindset. So there are two kinds of mindsets her research found. The first one is a fixed mindset. So these people believe that their basic qualities are set in stone, and that's what they're born with, and they're fixed traits. They spend their time documenting their intelligence, and they don't think that you can build on it. They believe that talent alone, or what they were born with, is what creates success, and not effort and failing and grit and resilience. They're wrong. The mindset that you want is the growth mindset. This is the mindset that virtually every successful person that you can see out there has, is a growth mindset. So they believe, listen carefully and maybe write this down, that abilities can be developed through dedication and hard work. Honestly, it's so important to know that, because it creates a love of learning and resilience to failure. And it is really important that you're okay to fail. Fail fast, fail frequently, and fail forward. Those are the 3 F's to moving forward in and being okay with failing. And when you have that, and when you know that failing, I don't even like to call it failing, because you're growing, you're learning, you're pivoting, that gives you a growth mindset, and then you can move forward. But if you can't do that, then you're stuck in the fixed mindset. So she came up with 4 steps to changing your mindset. The first one is to learn to hear that fixed mindset voice. So first of all, do you recognize that you hear that voice going, I can't do that, I suck at that, I'm not good at that, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not good enough. Whatever those are, just stop and listen to it. And then know that you have a choice. Okay, it is something that's repeated over and over again. That's what I think, but it doesn't mean it's true. And the third one is to talk back to it with a growth mindset voice. And this is a really great graphic. And the power of yet. So I can't do this yet. It doesn't work yet. I don't know how to do that yet. I'm not good at this yet. I haven't found the love of my life yet. I haven't made $1 million yet. I haven't started that business. I haven't found my dream job yet. Powerful, powerful, powerful word. The fourth step is to take the growth mindset action. Don't be afraid, or you can be afraid, but do it anyway. So the only difference between successful people and people that haven't moved forward are that the successful people are too afraid of staying where they're at than they are to move forward and face their fears. And that's it. They're no different than you or I. So here is an exercise that we're going to do about the fixed mindset and the growth mindset. So take out a piece of paper again and your pencil and write down this fixed mindset sentence. And you don't have to write down this sentence, but you can just write down the growth mindset sentence instead. So for example, if your fixed mindset says, "Are you sure you can do it? Maybe you won't be good enough." What would you change that to so that you have a growth mindset, that you are a learning mindset, that you are not afraid, that you're not judgmental? I'll give you a second to think of what you would write for the growth mindset. So the second fixed mindset thought is, what if you fail? You'll be a failure. Is that true? What's your growth mindset going to say instead of that? If you hear that pop up in your head, what are you going to say instead? Another example of a fixed mindset thought. If you don't try, you can protect yourself and keep your dignity. That also sounds like, you don't want to look like a fool. You don't want people to see you fail. You don't want to look like an idiot. Gosh, whose stories are those stuck in your head? What's the growth mindset reaction? How could you change that thought? If you don't try, you can protect yourself and keep your dignity. What else could you say to yourself? And the next fixed mindset sentence is, if it isn't going to be my way, it's going to be wrong. How many of you think no one can do it as well as I do it? I don't want to hear their opinion. It's going to be my way. I don't even want to know what they think. That is definitely a fixed mindset. And a growth mindset is someone who is going to collaborate and be open and not judgmental and not fixed. So what's a sentence you would say to yourself instead of that? And all this practice is changing those neural pathways in your head right now, so that when you come upon these, you're going to have practiced it and it will become more naturally. So let's do the last one. It's not my fault. It was something or someone else's fault. Oh, it's his fault. Oh, they're the problem. Oh, if he hadn't done that, then I wouldn't have done this. Oh, if she hadn't said that, I wouldn't have said this. Oh, because she did that, I had to do that. Is it someone else's fault all the time? That is a fixed mindset. How would you change that? And there's no perfect right answer. I'm not going to give you a right answer. You get it. You're just changing it from fixed to growth. I think that is probably enough time. So we're going to go on to the next exercise. And this is called the judger versus learner. And this is, again, another way of thinking about your mindset. Do you have a judgmental mindset or a mindset that wants to learn and grow? So they are really important because the judger mindset is blame focused and the learner mindset is solution focused. Okay? So think about when your thoughts come into your head, gosh, am I blaming even myself, or am I looking for a solution? Am I part of the problem? And we used to always say, we'd say at work, we say, if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. So it really is important. Come with the answers, come with the solution. So the judger questions are reactive, automatic, they're defensive, win lose, and they have limited possibilities. So you know those reactive. Oh, I hate this. Oh, I hate them. Oh, they're so stupid. When someone cuts you off in the freeway, usually we're being a judger. The learner questions are flexible, adaptive, questioning assumptions, win-win related, and plentiful possibilities. Someone cuts you off, you think they really needed to be in front of me. They might be rushing to the hospital. They might actually just be someone who didn't pay attention or didn't see me. And if they are someone that is just rude, I'm going to think win-win. I'm going to think win, I'm going to move out of the way. That's going to keep me safe. Win, they get to go ahead of me. They're going to feel better. Fine. Endless possibilities. But I don't need to get all crazy and upset. It's just not worth it. So this is called a choice map. Again, I'll send this to you. This is by Marilee Adams. She wrote a really great book called Change Your Questions, Change Your Life. And so she takes you down two different paths. When an incident happens, you're either looking down a learning path or a judgmental path. And it's just based on different questions. And so, and it's called the choice map. If you Google it, you can find it too, or you'll get it in the mail. Let's try to work on that. So, and let's use these questions as a way to work on a situation. So, a stressful situation with another person. Let's see, what can you think of? Is there something happening in your life or at work that is a stressful situation? And then write it in that. And then the judgmental person would say, whose fault is it? But what you're going to ask now, because you have a new knowledge of the learning mindset, what assumptions am I making? Are you making assumptions about them and what they are thinking and why they're thinking that? The judgmental path is going to take you down the what's wrong with me or what's wrong with them. But ask yourself, what am I responsible for? What am I responsible for in this situation? What's my part? Did I say something? Maybe. And it's not about my fault, but what am I responsible for? And do I need to apologize? And how do I make it right? Certainly all of us have had the thought, they are such an idiot. Or maybe a different, harsher word, but here we're going to use idiot. But instead you're going to ask, what is their perception? What are they going through? What are they bringing to the table? What are their old stories? What are they trying to get out of this? What's their perception? Again, you're just trying to unravel this knot and loosen those ties and just understand better. What's their perception? You just don't know where it's going to take you. Sometimes we think this is pointless. But this time you're going to ask, what is best to do now? We're not going to end with, this is pointless. What can I do now? What can I do now? Certainly we might say, I want to be right. But we're not going to do that anymore because we are on a different path. And you are going to ask, how can I make this a win-win? Even if you don't think you like that person and you're just so frustrated, it is going to open up your world to make it a win-win. Don't worry about what it does for them or what it says to them or how it makes you look. You're working with the universe here. So how can I make this be win-win? And the last one is, why bother? What's possible? Why bother? Why should I bother trying to make this win-win? Because what's possible if you do make it a win-win? What is possible if you make this a win-win? It's a pretty powerful question. Take a minute See if you answered those. Remember, you'll get this email to you so that you can work on different stressful situations. You can print this out and you can use it in the future, because you want to catch yourself and you want to keep doing this as often as possible so that you can change those neural pathways and it comes much more quickly to you. I do not get as frustrated driving in the car because I just am much quicker. Not that I don't get frustrated, not that things don't come and bother me. I don't live on unicorns and rainbow clouds. But I'm much quicker to say, hold on, I don't want to go down that path. What assumption am I making? Why am I getting so upset? And how do I turn this around? So other ways to stop negative mind chatter are, whoops. Visualize your best self and what that feels like. We do that in another exercise, in a different huddle, where we visualize our best self, and it's super powerful. So if you have that visualization of your best self and where you want to go, then anytime you start to have negative mind chatter, especially about another person or a situation, then you want to tell yourself, that is not, I don't want to look backwards. I don't want to look over there where it's negative and it's harmful and it's stressful. I am just going to focus on where I'm going. I'm going to focus on what I want to get, and that vision of that positivity and that place that I want to be. I'm not going to get caught up in that. Certainly that's a lot of where gossip comes in, and blaming and judgment. You don't need that. Just you have a place to go. You are focusing on where you need to go. Don't waste your time on that other stuff. Write something positive down. If you've got negative mind chatter, interrupt it by writing something positive down. Keep a little book with you where something good's happening. It's beautiful outside. Someone bought me a coffee. The barista got my name right. Little things add up. There is a lot of negative things going on, but there are just as many fabulous things going on, but we are not primed to notice them. We are primed by our biology to always look for the negative, because that is why when our ancestors were out there, they were looking for the tiger and they didn't want to be eaten, right? So we're different. We don't have tigers around the corner, but we're still primed to look for the negative. So we call those paper tigers now. Well, get rid of them. So write things that are down that are positive as they happen, because then you're going to start noticing more positive things. And if you have that negative mind chatter, I'm a big believer, crowd out the dark with light. Crowd out the negative with positive. So if you start hearing it, just start, even if you don't believe it, just start thinking and writing positive things down. You'll see it'll make a big difference. Practice self-compassion. Again, all of us have negative thoughts, and all of us are going to have negative situations. That is the human experience. And we offer Tal Ben-Shahar, who wrote who taught the very famous positive psychology class at Harvard, coined the term permission to be human, which was so great, because we have permission to be human. We have permission to be frustrated and sad and to be upset and to get reactive. And we also have the choice to catch it and turn it around. So don't beat yourself up for having negative thoughts. Just work on it. Meditation, meditation, meditation. You hear it everywhere. It's the next big thing. It really is going to be as important as exercising. But meditation helps calm down the neural pathways and the brain and quiets it down. I recommend, if you're not used to meditation yet, to do a guided one. There's free ones on YouTube all over the place. You can find one that's guided for affirmations, positivity, sleep, but things that are gonna, again, crowd out those negative thoughts. And it's really powerful. And then I love talk to a friend. But I have a little asterisk there, my friends, because this isn't, don't go talk to the friend that is going to agree with you and is going to say, oh yeah, he's totally an idiot. Oh yeah, they're totally dumb. Oh yeah, you're absolutely right. No, 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 no. You want to prime yourself with a friend who's going to say, are you going down the judger path? Do you have a fixed mindset on this? How can you think differently about this? There's someone that's going to challenge you. So that is really important. And I'm sure there are people out there that you can find who want to do this with you and who want to change and grow. And you're going to find super successful people. And again, not just rich people, because there are a lot of unhappy rich people, but you want to be wealthy and abundant and healthy and happy. And if you want all that, you're going to find like-minded people. Now, remember, we are the sum of the 5 people we hang around. So surround yourself with positive people. Surround yourself with people that want a growth mindset and who want to not be on the judger path, and who want to be on the learner path. And you're going to grow exponentially. I promise you. I promise you. And of course, what else? Think of some other things that you can stop negative mind chatter. You can write it in the chat box, write it down for yourself. Share it with others. We love when you share it on Facebook or on Instagram. The most important thing, my friends, is that you can train your brain for optimism and a growth mindset and a learning mindset through practice. I really do believe if you look at that picture and you see how it's lit up, you can light up your brain with positivity, but it takes practice. And one of the ways to practice is to join us every week on this Happy Huddle. Sign up at happierbytheminute.com, and you will get notified every time we're going to have one, which is right now every Friday morning. But if you miss it when you subscribe, you can go back and look at the past ones. So definitely do that, and you will learn a lot more ways to train your brain for success. And with success, there's abundance and happiness and health and joy and money and love, and you can have all those things. So join us every week for the Happy Huddle. Thank you all for joining me this week, and we'll see you next week.